Andy Puzder. Yeah, I was thinking of
Denizen.
Denizen's the word. Denizen's the word. Andy Puzder, former CK Restaurant CEO. I will go to here. William,
the
you
denizens.
saw the Denizen. You saw Lloyd Blankfein out with his tweet, which I'm not sure is probably only helping Sanders, frankly. But the question is, among the Democrats on Wall Street, what do you think they do if Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders is the nominee?
Probably vote for Trump. I mean, I think. Look, I think they would admire if say it's not Mike,
right?
And I think they really appreciate Mike Bloomberg.
Mayor Mike Bloomberg, right?
I think they really appreciate this idea that he's fomenting, or that he will support whoever the Democratic nominee with his many billions, and I think that they really like that. But I've had more than one Wall Street guy and more than one corporate CEO say, look, I mean, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, I just can't go there. It's a bridge too far. I can do Pete, I can do Klobuchar, I can do Mike Bloomberg. I cannot do Bernie or Elizabeth Warren. And therefore, the devil I know, as much as I hate him, is better, and his policies, his economic policies, I can live with, I can muddle through for another 4 years.
I mean, that is staggering, because Bernie on the predicted websites is clearly the favorite right now. That's crazy, isn't it?
Personally, I think that's crazy. I mean,
it's crazy on the websites, or it's crazy
on the websites. I don't see how Bernie
he just won.
Well, I can see how he wins the Democratic nomination.
That's what I mean.
Right.
But I don't see how he beats Donald Trump. I don't.
Well, that's what I mean.
That.
But it's amazing that the Democratic Party might pick Bernie. And you know what? They're setting themselves up for the criticism that they screwed him last time. They're setting themselves up that the establishment is not going to let it happen.
Well, I mean, sometimes this happens. Look what happened. I mean, I'm old enough to remember George McGovern, right?
Yeah,
he lost 49 states.
49 states.
I loved him, but, I was 18, or, I loved him.
But you'd still love him.
A route. And I probably still would
what
love
I know of you.
And I still would love him. But.
Andy, I want to turn around and ask you a different question, which is to say, on the Republican side of the aisle, if Bloomberg were the nominee, how many classic Republican business people do you think who have been supportive of Trump because they didn't like Hillary Clinton last time, would they switch this time?
I don't think you'd have a lot of them. You could have some. I think we've got problems on the right. The Trump supporters have problems with Bloomberg on tax policy and such. And I think Bloomberg has bigger problems. Look, Bloomberg's going to lose. He's never going to have that 25% of the Democratic vote that's supporting Bernie Sanders. His supporters will believe that Bloomberg bought the election. And he's not, there was an article in the New York Times this morning by Charles Blow really attacking Bloomberg from the African-American community's perspective. And if you lose, Trump's got approval ratings in the 30% range among African-Americans, which is very high for a Republican. If he gets 25% of the African-American vote, and he could if Bloomberg's the candidate, it's a landslide win for the president. So I don't really think Republicans switching to Bloomberg is really going to offset the problems Democrats have if Bloomberg's the nominee.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're out of time. This conversation was way too quick. Can you guys? Can we do it?
Yeah, that is too quick. I agree with the Denizen, by the way. I think his analysis was good.
We can keep it going. We can keep the conversation going. You were nodding your head.
I mean, I was nodding my head in disagreement. I mean, I think Andy, who I admire what he's accomplished, I think he's completely wrong. I think if Bloomberg somehow can work his way to be the Democratic nominee, he will get the support of the black community, of minorities. He will get a lot of support, and I think he will beat
But
Trump.
how excited would Bernie and AOC and Warren Democrats be to go out and vote that in the election?
They'll be excited
Just
to beat
Trump?
Trump.
I don't think
Joe,
they'll go
I think
out.
they will be excited to beat Trump.
Didn't happen in the last election. I mean, they didn't go to Hillary once the
They'd be so
election
mad
went
about
forward.
Bernie getting screwed again that.
Yep, that's exactly right. They'll be so irritated. I mean, they're already believing that in Iowa, that party screwed him. They're concerned that Bloomberg's going to get to debate by essentially buying his way into the debate. And then there's all this superdelegate problems that the Bernie supporters have that have now come up. So it's some real problems.
Andy, what is your the thing that I actually do find staggering is when business people have a problem actually with Bloomberg, only because classically, in a normal world, you would look at him, I think, and say, as I've said before, that he's the most competent and accomplished business person that you probably even know of, frankly.
Well, you know, a lot of times we've got very, very accomplished people in the business community who then go out and want to pursue policies that aren't consistent with the rest of the country growing economically. And I think we see that
And did you
with
think
Michael
that he
Bloomberg.
was successful as a mayor?
Oh, I do think he was successful as a mayor, but I think a lot of the reasons he's successful are going to alienate people.
So he's got a great track record as a mayor. He's got a great track. I mean, Charles Blow aside, he's got a great track record as a businessman. I mean, what more could you ask for? He's sort of the anti-Trump in that regard.
He's
Well, you need good
I don't want a nanny
policies.
state. I don't want a nanny state. Climate change isn't my primary objective, and I don't take my private jet to Tuckerstown and then preach climate change. I don't. The gun control.
Trump did the same thing. He took his private jet to Tuckerstown and
Right, but he's not preaching climate change.
He's not being a hypocrite when he does it. He's not a climate change guy.
No.
Look, Trump's been incredibly successful these first 3 years.
Yeah,
I think that's going to overwhelm anything that Bloomberg did as mayor.
Purely on character, who do you like better?
Look, I like Donald Trump. I think I enjoy being in his presence. He's a funny guy. He's entertaining. I think he's done a great job as president, and I think a lot of what he gets criticized for is defending himself. I think he defends himself very well. He's got direct access to the American people, which no president's had before. I'm not saying I would say everything Donald Trump says, but look, I'm not attacked 24 hours a day either. I think he's done a very good job defending himself. Look what's happened with impeachment and the Mueller probe and anything else they've thrown at him. He's had to defend himself,
Hillary
and he's done so very
high ground
effectively.
on character?
I was not talking about Bill or Hillary.
No, I know, but just
Bloomberg.
but you didn't complain for 8 years about their character.
First of all, that's not even true.
Oh, you did complain.
I did. We had conversations about the foundation. We had conversations about all sorts of things that took place.
You just didn't seem quite as energized. Anyway, thank you, Cohen. Thank you. Still vote for McGovern. I love you.
Absolutely.
Hey, I voted for McGovern too. I was 22 years old.
He did. I was young too, and believe it or not, and he did conjure up certain. I don't know. There was an energy there, but we had lived through the '60s. It's a different.
Hey, man.
Yep.
Dude.
And there was Nixon was not exactly
I have
young
voted for
people's
Jimmy
favorite.
Carter.
I voted for Jimmy Carter.
So did I.
Yeah. But
Once.
if Nixon were around now, I might vote for him again. So I don't know. I've changed. Anyway, thank you, Annie. Thanks, Bill. So, some news just out from Tesla. The automaker's planning to offer $2 billion in common stock. Elon Musk is going to participate. He found $10 million laying around. And you talk about pocket lint. This would make me not want to buy it. If Oracle's Larry Ellison, they ask him, hey, Larry, help us out here. And he says, OK, I'll buy $1 million worth. Larry Ellison, $1 million? That's no thanks. Anyway, he is on Tesla's board. He's going to buy up to $1 million.